Welcome back to the Piney Woods Homestead, y'all. You might be thinking, why in the world is Matthew climbing out the passenger side of his truck door? The passenger door of his truck. That would be because my driver's side door is tucked shut. We'll talk a little bit more about that here in a few minutes, but I'm going to show you what Lisa and I are doing today. In this 25 degrees and blowing wind, we're out here working. Guys, thanks for stopping in at the Piney Woods. Hit that like and subscribe if you hadn't. And if you have, as always, y'all, we appreciate you. So y'all, let me explain what Lisa and I are doing today and the setup that we have going on here. We are splitting camp wood, fire pit wood, off of our fire pit slash camp wood stack over here. We keep all the smalls, anything that's not desirable for home heating, and that's where we put it. It's a mixture of pine, some spalted maple, some poplar that's gone a little too far, and just some other, junk woods. Might be a little bit of gum in there, small stuff that's easy to split. But we'll split that stuff up and get it out. But we have an order for a full load, which is a cord of this stuff from a friend of mine that bought a load of yellow pine probably, 6 or 8 months ago, and they have burned that stuff, enjoying their fire pit. So he wants some more. So this time he's getting a mixture of some hardwoods too. So anyways, there's just some small hardwoods in there as well. But here's the setup. I've got the tractor over here with the forks. That way I can pick up and buck. My back is bothering me a little bit today, and so I'm going to use the hydraulic power of this little Kubota L2501 and my pallet forks just to raise them up, help me buck a little bit. Just because my lower back's bothering me, and I just don't feel like stooping over at all to buck it, or as little as I have to. And I've got the splitter backed in to the dump trailer. And the reason I had to pull the truck in is because of the way this splitter's set up with the log lift on the side that it is. I didn't want it on the other side having to chunk wood any further. So trying to keep it as compact and as tight together. Easier on me as I am feeding this, because Lisa, all she'll have to do is stand over here, work the controls, and split the wood straight into the back of the dump trailer. And we'll know when we have a cord, because we have hauled so many cords on this thing loosely thrown that we know by now. So that's our setup for this. And this truck will stay in here overnight, because right now the ground is frozen. It was easy to get it in here. We've had so much rain, y'all, and we've just got mud. I've got to do some more work around my sawmill come this spring and summer. I've got some ideas, and when we get a little bit further along, I'll share that with you to try to fix this, y'all. We live in a bottom. There's not much grade, much fall to work with as far as creating water flow to positively flow out of here. And I had it pretty good, pretty close, but still not 100% there. Got to do a little bit of work around my sawmill. Anyways, it'll sit here, and when it's froze again in the morning, I'll back this thing back out. That's how this operation is going to go today. So let's talk about my Chevrolet and just how perturbed I have been. Ticked off, y'all. Matthew has been ticked off. And I'm talking about myself in the third person, so that should let you know that I am. This door latch assembly on this thing failed close to a year ago. And the inside door handle portion of it anyways. And so I popped off the inside cover with the door shut because I couldn't get it open, either from the inside nor the outside. And I had the back side of the aftermarket, because it had already been replaced once from the previous owner. The door handle pull was just rotted away. It was no good. So I did a little bit of redneck engineering and got that door handle to work. That seemed to fix the problem. So for a year now, I have had no issues without replacing the assembly again. Well, the other day I am at my dad's house and I can't get the door open to leave. Try to pull it from the inside, won't work. I said, man. So I get home and I do the same thing that I had done before. I take the door panel on the inside off as far as I can. And y'all, I spent a half a day trying to get a hold of this cable. It was frayed because I actually put the new door handle assembly on not too many weeks ago. And that's when I found that the cable itself that opens your latch was shot. So Lisa got me a new one of those. And it took me about a half a day to get this door open. I tried everything from going down the top here beside of the window, because you can see the components, trying to push and pull on different stuff. Nothing would open it. And so I finally was able to get a hold of that frayed cable end and pull it as hard as I possibly could and got the door to pop. So I replaced the cable, lubed everything up on both door latches, the part that actually hooks the door down here. Thing was working great. So I take off, go to a job, go to get out of the truck, and it won't open again. And so I am having to use the passenger side over here. I have spent several more hours popping this door panel off, pulling on stuff, trying to get my door open. And I can't, just because the latch that catches on the little striker bolt down here will not release. And so aside from just taking the excavator and yanking my door off, I'm really not certain how I'm going to get this thing back open again. But I've got to, because it's not safe, it's not convenient, and I don't like climbing over my console. So Lisa's got me a new latch assembly ordered. Should be here today, but I don't know that I can get into that door. So if you have any tips or tricks, y'all, I have tried. Here's what I have tried. Pulling on the cable from the inside to get the door to open. I can see that the components down there are moving like they should. I've checked my door lock. It's functioning. I can see the components moving on the latch. And my outside door handle is functioning properly too, because I can see the components working as they should. Nothing is broke. No retaining clips are broke, nothing. So I'm just not really certain how to get this thing off, aside from yanking my door off. And I will not do that, because that'd be probably way more money than this $40 part that I've got to put on here. And so I am not destroying my truck. All right, we're going to get on to bucking firewood. And what we're going to do today, we've done this in the past, and I think we did it when I delivered the camp wood to the same gentleman. We're going to do a time lapse of the bucking and splitting of all these smalls over here, y'all. It's mostly small stuff. And we're going to see just how long it takes us to get this trailer filled up. The last time I did it, I never set a stopwatch. So today I'm actually going to set a timer on my phone, and we'll see how long it takes us to get this trailer filled. Keep in mind, we're going to take some breaks. We'll try to account for those. And let's see, Lisa gets hungry. We need to make sure that she's fed so her sugar doesn't drop. Sometimes I work her too hard, y'all. And we'll just see how long it takes, and don't be surprised if it isn't a few hours, y'all. So let me ask you, are you cold?
A little bit. My hands are cold.
It's freezing.
Yeah.
How long do you think it took us to do that?
About 3 hours.
Well, let's take a look at the stopwatch and see. All right, y'all. if you can see that. 2 hours and 55 minutes. And I know a lot of you that do firewood, you're going to be tempted, so tempted to let your fingers do the walking on the keyboard and say, Lord have mercy, that is slow. It is kind of slow.
Well, I have 2 things to say about that.
All right, well, all right, what are your 2 things?
My 2 things. One, it adds time having to chunk it all the way to the back of the trailer.
Yeah, conveyor would be nice.
Well, versus just even letting it fall to the ground when we go to stack it in the bunks.
Yeah, or stacking it straight off the rear.
Yeah, either way.
But I'm going to show you why it takes us 3 hours right here.
I didn't say my second one.
All right, what's your second one?
My second one is, it may be slower than some that do firewood for a living.
It is.
I mean, it's faster than
anything we've ever had.
Anything we've ever had.
An axe.
I like my fingers.
Yeah, I like your fingers too.
And knock on wood, I'm in my 2nd year of not having stitches in fingers.
Yeah, true.
I guess there for a few years it was like
cutting yourself on
myself.
Slicing potatoes with a mandolin.
No, it was cucumber. It was
cucumbers.
Pickles, and in my sewing, when I was sewing, cutting one of the tips of my fingers off with the rotary.
I remember that.
So, it was like
she's dangerous, y'all.
I like my fingers.
Well, I'm gonna show you why it takes us this long. So right here is why it takes us 3 hours. Look how small that split is. And why do you do it like that for fire pit wood?
Well, I do it for fire pit wood, and maybe not quite this small for
firewood. No,
firewood.
not that small.
But
firewood.
Smaller pieces.
Home heating.
Because in my experience, and what you've heard from our customers, they like the smaller pieces because they're easier to handle. They don't have, a lot of them said they were getting firewood that they would have to go back through and split down again.
Right.
But
for this application here, it works great. All this wood is over a year old, been either decked up somewhere else on the property or decked up here. Y'all have seen me bring wood in here. And there's no kindling required. He can put this straight into his fire pit. The man that's getting it, buddy of mine, Jay, thank you very much for a repeat order. Used to work with Jay. He was one of my bosses. Yep. So he'll be happy with this. Last time he got straight yellow pine, which he really likes, but this is a lot of hardwood, some cherry in here.
There's some pine too.
Some pine.
It's a good mixture of everything.
A lot of poplar. But he'll be able to pull out a lot of cherry in here.
Yeah, it smells
and
good.
I know that he likes to smoke stuff to eat instead of just the neighborhood, so he can pull some out and smoke some meat with that. But y'all, this looks really good. This is a full cord up in here by volume, and he'll go through it. Hopefully, I hope he goes through it in 6 months like he did the last one, but it should last him longer because there's better wood in there. Y'all, a light bulb just went off in my head, and I realized if we had a 6-way wedge, I believe that would cut our time in half on this fire pit wood that we do so small.
Yeah.
So that might be something we need to save up some money and try to get Bobby to fabricate for us.
Yeah.
So we can put on that thing just for doing this fire pit wood. That's not a bad idea. What do y'all think? Y'all don't forget, if you got any tips on how I can get that driver's side door open without destroying my door, and remember, I've already checked all the mechanisms in there. They're all functioning except for the little claw thing that goes over the striker. I don't know what to do. I beat on it with a mallet. I pulled up on the door thinking maybe there was some slack in the door. I don't know what to do. And you need to be one of those people that was in the Wizard of Oz, the little people with little old teeny hands to get in there and work. Maybe your hands will fit a little bit better than mine. I don't know. But y'all, we've been out here working for a living. Can you see that? You believe that?
And freezing.
Working for a living. Nobody's put free money in our account. A lot of that going on these days, y'all. If you pay attention to what's going on in America specifically. Free phones, free money, free housing.
Lots of money.
Lots of free stuff. And I'm not complaining because we don't want the free stuff. I'm just complaining because, golly, we got to sell a whole lot more firewood to keep other people up. Anyways, that's my little rant for this one. And the truck. Guys, thanks for stopping in with us, and a little update on the boots that we did in the last video. Somebody let me know that it's pronounced high C. The boots, I'm loving those things. They're warm.
Well, and we didn't realize until several days later I borrowed Kyla's rubber boots that she's had.
And they're high. And they're high C's.
Yeah, and we bought them probably 5
5 years ago,
and they're still
holding up good.
Yeah,
and
so.
anyways, I'm liking them so far, and I'll give you more updates as I go along, and hopefully I don't spring a leak. All right, guys, y'all have a good day, a great week. We're going to get warm because we're froze.
Yeah.
Lord willing, in the creek don't rise, y'all. We'll see you on the next one. And if you need some beard balm, if you got a nice beard like this, check out our website, guys. Y'all have a good day. Sick of that door.